can see, a little windy here tonight. Coming out of the north at 10 miles an hour. Beautiful temperature, not a cloud in the sky. The sun will set in about 20-25 minutes. The lights are on here, and the Bills have won the toss and elected to receive. And we'll get our look at that offense. And on the other sideline, Jim Caldwell took over for Jim Schwartz, now Buffalo's defensive coordinator in the offseason. First year with the Detroit Lions. And Doug Marrone in his second year with the Buffalo Bills. And we had a chance to talk to Coach Marrone. He gave us a pretty good evaluation of what he thought, Steve, about the team's training camp, extended this year with an extra game. But all in all, they got a lot of work done.
Yeah, they did, and even though they didn't play well offensively last week, he said that was disappointing, but it wasn't indicative of how much progress they have made, and he's excited about seeing them together. Certainly, it's been frustrating because they haven't really felt like they've had their 11 starters offensively going at any point this preseason. They also, on the other defensive side of the football, this will be the first game where they'll actually start the linebacking core that they hope to go into week 1 with as well. So a lot of that's been going around the Bills camp as well. While they haven't played as well as they'd like in certain aspects of their game, they don't feel like they've really had not only their play selection at their disposal, but also their players.
So Sam Martin re-tees the ball. He'll kick it off. Marquise Goodwin will let that one sail over his head, and the Bills will matriculate from their own 20-yard line after that touchback. And E.J. Manuel coming out to try to pick up where he left off in that outstanding third quarter against Tampa Bay this past Saturday.
Yeah, he was 10 of 10 at one point in the third quarter, it was just really good. When they came out after halftime, they looked like a different offense, and it gave them a little bit of something to chew on this week as they prepared for this next game.
Summers at fullback behind Spiller. And Spiller behind him. First throw is complete on a comeback route to Robert Woods. Pickup of 16 for the Bills offense. Let's take a look at that offense. Up front, Glenn, Richardson, Wood, Piers, and Henderson are starting tonight. Spiller and Summers in the backfield. Gregg at tight end. Watkins and Woods are the two receivers. Mike Williams, of course, will be coming in when they go to the 3-receiver set, as they do here. It's actually the fullback in an offset eye. Manuel changes the play, a counter, and Spiller is caught in the backfield for a loss on the play by Tahir Whitehead.
Yeah, Stephen Tulloch also got some penetration, kind of made that play. 55 for the Lions, kind of shot that gap, made Spiller hesitate and try to start to bounce it to the outside, and the pursuit was right there. The Lions really almost run blitzed that play. They had no idea. They didn't even care if the Bills tried to throw it. They were blitzing for the run on that play. They jumped that line of scrimmage quickly.
I failed to mention, would be remiss if I didn't, that Bills starting offense was brought to you by Tim Hortons. Manuel is snowed under by Ezekiel Ansah for a loss of 1 on that play.
Yeah, only 3 guys into the pattern. E.J. Manuel tried to climb in the pocket. Lions bring a little bit of pressure. They bring a 4-man rush, and E.J. Manuel just has to step up. Cordy Glenn gets beat, hop up, and then back underneath late on it. E.J. Manuel not being able to find anybody down the field. Can't get out of the pocket.
Puts Buffalo in a 3rd and 14 situation here in their initial drive of the game. Dumped off and complete. Jackson takes it, and he's going to get the first down and more into Lions territory to the 48 before Tulloch is able to bring him down, give him 18 and a first down on that play.
Oh, that's an outstanding read and check down by E.J. Manuel. He kept his eyes way down the field. Look at his eyes looking down as he steps up, keeps his eyes, and then Freddie Jackson flashes in front of him. He just releases it. Nobody's on and plenty of room. You could tell it was going to be a first down as soon as Jackson caught it, and he still had 10 yards to run. Great check down by E.J. Manuel.
Manuel 2 for 2 for 36 yards here early on, rolling to his right, and makes the good decision to throw this one out of bounds, and the Bills will line up at 2nd and 10. That's something he didn't do last week. It's like he learned from that and saved the Bills some yardage there.
Yeah, it's a bad timing on the top of the route as he comes out on this bootleg. Just as he comes out, Sammy Watkins, you see there, comes out, and just as Manuel takes his eyes off of Sammy, Sammy comes up just as he comes back, just as he comes out of the break. EJ takes his eyes and puts him on the rush just for a moment. It just timed wrong that he couldn't see him.
Spiller runs into some traffic in the middle of that line. No gain on the play as Tulloch again involved in the stop along with C.J. Mosley for the Lions.
Freddie Jackson back in the game on a 3rd and 10 as Bragg also comes out of the game.
You bring Watkins to the bottom of your screen. Williams and Woods to the top. Protection again breaks down, and Manuel will be sacked back in Bill's territory. Loss of 4 on the play, and it'll bring up a punting situation for Buffalo here on the opening drive.
Yeah, this is a situation where as Manuel steps up in the pocket, the Bills run the route past the first down markers. There was no short route to throw and complete it, try to get it after the catch. They wanted to get everybody past, and there was not enough time in the pocket to wait for that route to develop.
Mormon on to punt. Jeremy Ross sits back to make this fair catch and gets run into, and the official's reaching for the flag but doesn't throw it.
And I don't know why they didn't throw it, because there's no question the returner got bumped.
36-yard punt. Steve, no return. We'll take a network timeout, and the Lions will have the football for the first time. 0-0, no score here early in the first quarter. Just a little under 4 minutes gone, and the Lions get the ball, and their starting quarterback Matt Stafford not even dressed tonight. Dan Orlovsky will get the start for Detroit.
Yeah, there's a lot of Detroit Lions that did not suit up tonight. Most notably Matt Stafford, of course, Golden Tate, Reggie Bush, Calvin Johnson, and Ndamukong Suh. None of those guys are suited up, along with a handful of other notable players. The Lions really pulling in their sails here in their final preseason game, making sure they are healthy for week 1.
Orlovsky came over in the offseason to rejoin Jim Caldwell. He was on Caldwell's Indianapolis squad earlier in his career. They start 1st and 10, handed off to Theo Riddick. Riddick stumbles back to the line of scrimmage. That's where Searcy tags him down. Bill's starting defense brought to you by Tim Hortons. You see the front 4, Hughes, Darius, Williams, and Williams. The linebackers, and this will be the group that more than likely will start in the opener. Rivers and Spikes, and Preston Brown, the rookie, getting the call. McKelvin and Brooks are the corners. Aaron Williams and Denoris Searcy check in at safety.
Preston Brown going to get the start in week 1 because Nigel Bradham will be suspended for 1 week. And he'll be back in the lineup theoretically.
2nd and 10 for Detroit. Orlovsky on a 3-step. Hits his tight end on a quick turnaround. Rivers makes the play. It was actually Jeremy Ross made that reception for a gain of 5, bringing up a 3rd down now and 5 for Detroit.
Buffalo's defense, even throughout the preseason, not just this #1 unit that when they're in there, but their defense has been extremely good, leading the league in yards per carry. You just can't run on this group, or so it seems this preseason. We'll see if it carries over into the regular season, but thus far this defense has been extremely effective.
And that was a weak spot for this defense last year, stopping the run. They were able to take the ball away and get sacks as the flags come out as the whistle blows.
Delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty, repeat 3rd down.
And Buffalo was 2nd in sacks with 57 last year, Steve, a team record. 23 interceptions, also 2nd, but in terms of opponents rushing, they were 28th, giving up 129 a game.
And they gave up a ton of big plays rushing. They'd be great for the entire game, and then all of a sudden their opponents would snap off a 45-yarder. And that was really their Achilles heel. Every once in a while they would have a lapse that would give up an enormous play in the running game, and that cost you games.
So with the penalty, 3rd and 10. Orlovsky dumps it out to the flat. That is complete to Riddick, but he is stopped. Nowhere to go as Brooks comes up and forces the punt with that open field tackle.
Well, Brooks has played really well this this camp and during this preseason, the Bills secondary really seems like there's going to be some tough decisions to make back there. They've got some quality veterans, no question, but they've also got a lot of guys who've made plays throughout this preseason and are athletically gifted. They're fast and athletic out there, and I think that's going to be a tough call for this coaching staff.
Second man Sam Martin on to punt it away. Nikel Roby takes this one from his own 28-yard line, makes a move and heads for the sideline where he is lit up, hitting 4 yards on the return of a 51-yard Martin punt. And we'll take a network timeout. No score. 8:17 to go in the first quarter. The Bills offense will be on the field.
Mike Catalana back with you here in Orchard Park. Game still scoreless in the first. Time for our ECMC keys to the game, and Doug Marrone telling us he wants to see execution by his team. We certainly saw it by the first team defense on that drive. Hey, cuts are coming. They have to finalize the roster spots by Saturday, and of course, in the preseason especially, got to stay healthy.
That is the biggest key of all right there, Mike. As Bryce Brown checks into the backfield, probably done for the day is C.J. Spiller. C.J. hands it to Booby, as they call him, and he works his way for 3 yards.
And that's Bryce Brown. You're thinking you got the 2 running backs.
Oh, do I?
Anthony Dixon's Booby Dixon.
Okay, with all the B's and Brown, I just went with the Booby there. But you're right, it's Dixon with the Booby nickname. Bryce, he's not so unfortunate.
Well, Brown has played really well. Both these running backs, it's obvious kind of when you get down to the choices. Those top 4 running backs are all going to be on this team.
Slant thrown in, attempted to Sammy Watkins from E.J. Manuel. Too much traffic, incomplete.
Sammy Watkins.
Looks like Watkins has a flak jacket on to protect those sore ribs.
Well, he got kneed in the Pittsburgh game. There you see that. It's almost helmet to helmet. It's a good thing it was a light hit. That's exactly the kind of hit we've been heard the media talking about all around the league this week, about guys getting fined for hits to the head and helmet to helmet. Now we've got a stoppage by the officials.
They're having a little confab over there. Jeff Triplett.
What I don't get is
our referee
they have the technology. You see the headpieces the officials wear. I was under the impression they could speak to each other without having to run over and talk to each other.
It looks like they're pointing to the wrist. Has something to do with the clock.
Well, it has to do with the clock. And in fact, I was in the production truck before the game, and all the officials were in there with their watches synchronizing them.
Clock to 10 seconds. The game clock is correct.
And now they stopped the game so they could tell us that the game clock is correct and the play clock is off by 2 seconds.
Well, we got it right now. Bills 1 of 2 on third down conversions on their first drive. This one is complete to Fred Jackson. Actually, he dropped it.
Looked like he brought it in and got 2 hands on it. He had to leap for it as Manuel let it go with a little bit of pressure in his face and just couldn't pull it in.
So that'll bring out Mormon to punt it away one more time. Ryan Broyles back for the Lions. Broyles takes it at the 26, and then he's brought down. Nice special teams play by Chris Hogan, trying to make the team as a receiver. A 41-yard punt, 3-yard return. We'll take a local timeout. No score yet here. 7:27 to go in the first quarter here in Orchard Park, New York. Ray Bentley alongside Steve Tasker. Mike Catalana on the field. No score midway through the first quarter. Time now for our New York Lottery Inside the Numbers. Hey, you never know.
And the Buffalo Bills will put in their second 4 on the defensive front. Jarris Wynn, Corbin Bryant, Stephon Charles, and Manny Lawson. Bryant, Charles, and Lawson, Marrone said this week, they had their best game of the preseason last week against Tampa Bay in the defensive effort of that game. And all those guys, think about this defense, it looks very deep rostered across the roster.
They contributed mightily to the numbers you saw on your screen. The Bills very good against the run. A flag is down as Riddick cuts it back. He's still alive and now runs into trouble at about the 40-yard line.
This one's going to come back, I think, with a hold right at the point of attack, and one flag came out, and it looked like it was catching because they started all throwing them.
2 fouls on the play. Offside, number 92 of the defense lined up in the zone. Number 71 of the offense. Repeat, first down.
Jarius Wynn was offsides for Buffalo, and Riley Reef caught holding. So it offsets. We'll have a 1st and 10. And replay that down.
Right there. Just hanging out over the neutral zone of the football.
And he did as much of it as he could. Took a little too much. Mikel LaShore takes it off the right side, and nowhere to go for him as Spikes shoots the gap and makes the hit.
Yeah, Jarius Wynn also helping to make that play as he holds the point of attack right on the right side of the offense. As they come out here, and you can see there the leverage is there, and the back just has nowhere to run. Corbin Bryant standing right there. Watch Spikes fill this gap. Shuffle in, misses the block from the guard, and makes his way to the running back. Great job by Spikes, pushing the guard's block down low and away from him, playing it off of it, keeping his eyes on the running back and getting to make the play. That's a great job by a linebacker.
Yeah, it really was. Brings up 2nd and 11. Bills show blitz and bring it. Orlovsky has to get it out quick, and he does. Incomplete, intended for Durham. Coverage on the play by McKelvin.
Yeah, Durham was not even near the top of that route. Orlovsky got rid of that out of self-defense. That pass had no chance. The Bills did bring heat, and it looked like Orlovsky just got rid of it because he thought he was going to get sacked. He might have had an extra half second, but no question, he knew the blitz was coming, and he just didn't trust the offensive line to hold him out for that extra half second to deliver the football. He delivered it too early.
3rd and 11. Detroit 0 for 1 on 3rd downs. Bills show safety blitz. Orlovsky changes the play. Will Buffalo bring it? And they do late. This ball is overthrown, incomplete, intended for Riddick. And the Bills defense forces a 3 and out.
Yeah, Jarius Wynn kind of faked the blitz, and then he came out after the fact, after Orlovsky had checked off. He doesn't blitz. Orlovsky looks for the quick out. He doesn't realize that Wynn dropped out of the pass rush and went out to cover the flat. That play was snapped off with a pre-snap blitz fake, and a great play by Wynn.
Martin's punt high to TJ Graham, who makes the fair catch signal and the catch at the 30-yard line. We'll take a local timeout. The Bills will get the ball for the 3rd time. No score here early on from Ralph Wilson Stadium. Score here, 6:06 to play in the 1st quarter. E.J. Manuel in the 1st string offense back out onto the field for their 3rd drive. They've run 10 plays thus far this evening. How much longer do you think we'll see him, Steve?
Not much. I think you'll probably see him for about a dozen plays, or perhaps if they drive down and score a touchdown in some way, shape, or fashion, that would probably be it for him. But this may be the last time we see them tonight.
Manuel, play action. Throws a strike, and it was bounced around, ends up back in the hands of Woods as a flag comes out.
Well, it was early contact by the defender, bounced off Woods because of the early contact, bounced off a defender for the Lions, and then back to Woods, who caught it and made the 1st down.
Pass interference, defense number 23. That penalty will be declined. Result of the play is the 1st down.
Darius Slay committed the infraction, and they'll just let the play stand. It has a nice ricochet catch.
Yeah, coming into tonight, Woods had 13 catches in the preseason with a long of 30 to lead the team, and he got that one off a double ricochet.
Yeah, for 20 yards. He's got 2 catches for 36 so far tonight. EJ, and this times it on the outside. Another flag is thrown as he's looking for Marquise Goodwin.
And Goodwin got tied up once again with Slay.
Pass interference, defense number 23. Ball will be placed as the spot of the foul, 1st down.
Not a good series for Slay, as he's got 2 penalties on 2 consecutive plays. One was declined, however.
Slay, a 2nd-year man. The Lions looking for him to take over as a starter at that cornerback position. With the bunch set at the bottom. Manuel hands it off, and that's Bryce Brown. Barely maybe got back to the line of scrimmage.
And that time Slade did make a nice tackle. Because that was a misdirection. You saw it circle the bunch formation, and that's a big attention getter, not only for announcers in the booth like you and me, but also for the defense. They know there's all those guys over there. It's hard to pick those guys up, and then all of a sudden the Bills run the opposite way on a quick hitter. Lions were all over. It's a good play by their defense, Slade in particular.
Brings up 2nd down and 10. Draw play. Brown again tries the outside, and there's not any room there. He's finally pushed out of bounds after running laterally for a while by Issa Abdul Qudus.
That was a play, and the draw plays, you know it's in trouble when it bounces out immediately. Brown grabs that ball, and you look like you want the defensive lineman to come up the field and be guided by the offensive line to the outside, meaning you should have a nice little lane up inside, and as soon as Brown got it, there was nothing there. Bounce to the outside. Well played by the defensive front of the Lions.
Loss of 1 on the play brings up 3rd and 11. Manuel with time, shoots it, overthrows Robert Woods by a little bit. Woods had his man beaten by a step. Manuel now just 3 of 7 on the night for 56 yards.
See right there, and that's, you'd like to see Woods come down with that.
I agree.
It didn't look like he picked it up, and he didn't reach for it until it was almost past him. It's like he couldn't see it. You get that. That was not a horrible throw.
So Mormon comes out to punt for the 3rd time tonight. Hits this one high as Ryan Broyles waits for the fair catch and makes it at the 20-yard line. A 24-yard punt for Mormon. We'll take a network timeout. 4:15 to go here in the first quarter. No score between the Lions.
The Bills are back on defense now, and one thing you want to keep an eye on out there is both Preston Brown and Nigel Bradham on the field. At the same time, we know Bradham has played so well, but he is suspended for that first game. But Preston Brown has been impressive throughout training camp. He will likely get that start against Chicago. We'll have to see. Both on the field right now for the Bills team.
Thank you, Mike. 1st and 10. Orlovsky for the Lions, 2 of 4 for 12 yards thus far. Dumps this one out to the flat. This is receiver Ross. Ross is run out of bounds by Nickel Roby after a gain of 5.
Roby, the nickel back here with the #1 defense usually, and Marone talks about Roby as though, and it is unexpected for a guy, and I've said it a couple of times in the preseason, he's not a big guy at 5'8", $165, but he makes plays, and they got him in the nickel, and he has a nose for the football, great ball skills. So when the ball's in the air, he has the ability to go up and grab it, and he can help you on special teams by returning punts as well and kickoffs. So Roby offers an awful lot in a small package, and he makes plays.
Orlovsky throws this one to his tight end. That's complete to Ebron, the #1 draft pick for the Lions, and he's brought down by those 2 linebackers you spoke of, or Mike spoke of, in Bradham and Brown. Hey, stop by the new Bills store located at Abbott Road near Route 20 and check out the widest and most exclusive Bills gear on the market. The Bills store is open Monday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. and on non-game Sundays from noon to 5 p.m. The Bills store, your one-stop shop for all your Bills gear. So that was the initial first down for the Lions tonight. Their own 32, they drop it outside again to the back. Riddick, who makes one man miss. The flag comes out, and Riddick is stopped after a gain of 11.
Yeah, Bradham was late reading that play, and then when he got out there, he overran it and missed the tackle.
And then he got in on it at the end. He realized, hey, it's still going.
Holding defense number 25. That penalty is declined. Result of the play is a down.
Janoris Searcy called for the infraction.
Searcy right there, right at the top of the screen, just the ball snapped. See where Bradham getting back into the play.
So the Lions go 1st and 10 from their own 45-yard line. And this is George Wynn, who has had an outstanding preseason for Detroit. He'll rip off 12 yards right up the middle.
Yeah, and that was an interesting play. The Bills had man coverage with a single high safety with 8 guys in the box. And the Lions ran right up the hash mark, right up inside. That's an interesting play. They got a nice angle on the blocks, a nice cross block up front, and created a crease. And once you do that with that many guys in the box, there's going to be a lot of room. Cersei did a nice job of tackling in space.
First foray into Bills territory for the Lions. Little bootleg, nowhere to go. Good coverage on the play by the Bills secondary, in particular Duke Williams.
And Jarris Wynn doing a nice job staying at home as Orlovsky booted out to try and throw that ball out there. Wynn was looking him right in the eye, wouldn't let him get outside. Orlovsky had to get rid of it or he was going to get sacked. Both ends of that play, the pass and the reception, were well covered.
Brings up 2nd down and 10 now for Detroit. Orlovsky, 3-step, dunks it down inside to Kevin Ogletree, and Ogletree is hit immediately after a 4-yard pickup. Let's look at the cornerback situation for Buffalo.
Yeah, this isn't the entire secondary, just the corners. So you've got Gilmore and McKelvin, and these 4 guys have played extremely well. And what you look for as well is some of these guys in this side, and maybe to play not only just corner, but also in a pinch could move back to safety to get some flexibility plus special teams responsibility. So a lot goes into picking those guys. They're all athletic and all fast, but they've all got to contribute in their own way and find a spot on the roster, and the coaches have to recognize it.
Lions 0 for 2 thus far on 3rd down attempts. This one a 3rd and 7, and Orlovsky gets sacked. Corbin Bryant was the first one there. And Lawson finished him off, and there is a flag down
near side,
way down on the 20-yard line.
Oh, and this is never
illegal
good.
Contact. Number 21 of the defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
That's called on Leotis McKelvin. And I just hope the NFL does not continue.
The other illegal contact, 21, is accepted. 1st down.
We got 2 of them on it.
Yeah, both Roby and
these penalties they're calling, Steve, are not affecting the play a lot of times, and I just don't understand it.
Well, Orlovsky was standing there looking for somebody to throw to, and he doesn't have anybody, and one reason is because they're getting banged around down in the secondary. That's one left train of thought. And McKelvin, you can see, because he has not played much this preseason, so he's still probably adjusting to the new level of sensitivity that the officials are given to that rule.
Good way to describe it. Cersei in on the bottom of that pile as Riddick tries the middle, give him 2 on the play.
I think, Leotis McKelvin still got some rust to knock off, as Coach Marone said. He's coming off hip surgery in the offseason, and they've used him very sparingly and been very careful with him during training camp, and now getting back to 100%. But physically, you can be 100%, Ray, and you're just not as sharp in your skill set.
The Lions are going to let it run out. The first quarter winding down. Leotis McKelvin, 20 pass breakups last year, a career high, led the ball club. We will take a local timeout after 1 quarter. No scores. The Bills and Lions are battling here in the final preseason game of the 2014 year. No score. We'll be back with the 2nd quarter in just a moment. After 1. Buffalo taking on the Detroit Lions in the final preseason ball game of the year. Lions driving. They are at 2nd down and 9 here on the 7th play of this particular drive. 4 first downs on this drive for the Lions after a couple of 3-and-outs to start the game. Orlovsky hits his man, and that's Chris Durham, but Durham drops it. Ball a little bit behind him. Bring up a 3rd down and call it 8.
Well, that's what it is. It's an inaccurate pass, and Durham is well behind him. Durham's momentum won't allow him to spin around and grab that football. Orlovsky got to get out in front of him. In that case, Orlovsky tried to gun it because he knew if he led the receiver, he was going to throw it right into the chest of a linebacker. So he tried to gun it and get it there fast enough for Durham to spin and get it, and he just couldn't do it.
Bills have been bringing pressure here early on against Orlovsky. This time just 4. Sets up the screen, and Riddick is being chased to the sidelines, and Lawson takes a crack at him. He misses. Holds him up long enough, though, for the tackle to be made by Duke Williams. And the Lions are short on that third down try. It'll bring up 4th down.
Watch the
long field goal.
Excuse me, Ray. Watch the 2 defenders. That's Jarris Wynn and Corbin Bryant. They sniff this out and run it down. And Manny Lawson, their 91, also getting out there. Great job of recognizing and running that screen down. Great speed by that front 4 of the Bills defense.
Nate Freeze on to kick the 53-yarder, rookie out of Boston College. And he's got that one. Made a 56-yarder against Oakland earlier in the preseason, and Freeze showing a strong leg. And the Lions get on the board to take the early lead here, 3-0 with 14:08 to go in the first half. Jim Caldwell looking on. His Lions are 2-1 thus far in the preseason.
Dan Orlovsky coming off a little bit disgusted with the way that drive ended. Jim Caldwell obviously also had some head coaching experience in Indianapolis. He was the guy that replaced Tony Dungy as head coach, took them to the Super Bowl in the very next year. And then after the year where Peyton Manning suffered through his injuries in Indianapolis, Jim Caldwell and the team also suffered through it, and Caldwell was let go.
That's Marquise Goodwin back to receive the Martin kickoff. Freeze actually kicked this one, got it down to the 1-yard line where Goodwin makes a man miss, but then is dragged down at the 21, a 20-yard return. And time now for us to look at our Snapple Real Fact. And this is as real as it gets right here, Steve.
Well, it's all about the numbers. They're going to cut to the final roster for the Buffalo Bills in 2014 on Saturday at 4 p.m. 53 guys are going to go through the season together, and that'll change a little bit with injuries and all of the things that happened during the NFL season, but that's going to be the addition. As you see there, Jordan Palmer taking his first snap as a Buffalo Bill. After 3 days of practice, Palmer picked up earlier in the week, and he'll hand it off to Bryce Brown. Brown will pick up 1. And Jordan Palmer, brought in, entered the league as a 6th-round pick by the Washington Redskins in 07. He's only thrown 15 passes in the NFL, completing 10 of them, and he hasn't had any game action since 2010, Steve. Right. He's known as a guy who's got a live arm. He's a pro body. He's big, strong, got a strong arm. Throws that one out, incomplete, looking for Goodwin. And he tried to throw that away from the defenders. A smart move, but you got to think, this guy's been here for 3 days. Now, he did play for the Chicago Bears coming into tonight. In this preseason, he was 21 of 30 for Chicago for 125 yards. He had a TD, he had an interception, and he had been sacked once. And it's a similar offense to West Coast style that Mark Trestman brought to the Bears, and Doug Marrone told us, he might not know all of our particular language, but he knows all the concepts. And right now he's chased down and sacked. Flag comes out on the play as Devin Taylor runs down Jordan Palmer. This is a late flag. It looks like it might be a hold.
Elu's the hands to the face. Number 94 in the defense. 5-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
So the Bills get a first down. Ezekiel Ansah. Ziggy, they call him. With the hands to the face. Yeah, he's right up here. Working against Chris Hairston, and there you see it. It doesn't have to stay there very long, but you saw Hairston's head snap back, and that's what it was. Little draw play, some running room as Dixon will pick up 5 on the play. Bring up a 2nd down and 5 now for Palmer and the Bills.
Now Palmer in there with Marquise Goodwin and T.J. Graham, who's reported today that T.J. Graham has been one of the players the Buffalo Bills have been trying to trade. It was reported today, and it's interesting all the machinations that are going on with this club. But there's no doubt, as you see that run play go off the right side, Ray, over the last 2 years that you and I have been doing these preseason games and watching this team in the regular season, this roster is completely transformed. You talk about T.J. Graham and Marquise Goodwin and the difference in the room with the wide receivers now with Mike Williams and Sammy Watkins in the room. Everything moves down 2 notches. I mean, Robert Woods is having a hard time getting on the field, and he was a starter a year ago, and that's just one position.
And the Bills are whistled and flagged.
False start. Number 11, offense. 5-yard penalty, still third down.
T.J. Graham went a little early.
You know, watch here. See what happened right there.
He should be looking in at the ball. He got a little bit of a hiccup there.
Oh, see, he looked at the.
He tried to talk his way out of it.
Yeah.
Brings up 30-10, the blitz. And that screen pass is complete to Dixon, who gets some room around the side and very close to the first down. We'll see where they mark it.
Oh, they're going to mark him well short. Just past the 35-yard line. They had to get all the way to the 36, and the Bills will punt it away. Great catch here. Right there, as you see him pull it in. Great job by Dixon. Then reaches for it, but just can't make it happen.
Dixon coming off the field a little gingerly.
Yeah, he's not 100%.
Mormon will come on to punt. Broyles deep for the Lions. This one will be down at the 34-yard line. Just a 33-yard punt for Brian Mormon. We'll take a network timeout. Detroit 3, Buffalo nothing here in the second.
Lions lead at 3-0. Sammy Watkins officially listed as questionable to return with a rib injury. Here's what happened. The Bills' first series takes a shot there from Ashley Palmer. We know he came in with that rib injury from the Pittsburgh game. Went to the locker room again. Questionable to return, but you would think he'd likely be out for this game with a regular season coming up a week from Sunday.
Yeah, when you have a rib injury, it's not so much the contact that does it, it's the bending of your body and the torque that causes you to wince.
Yeah, I had torn rib cartilage back in the day, and I can tell you that's one of the most painful things you can have as Durham is the intended receiver from Kellen Moore and the new quarterback for Detroit.
Yeah, and it's also not only about the pain, it's almost like a back injury where you're afraid to move because it's going to hurt the ribs are the same way. You can't twist or anything, and it really makes you tentative in everything you do. And once you become tentative as a football player, particularly one who's going up to catch a pass, you become ineffective. So
we just received word that Sammy Watkins is officially out for the rest of the game, although we didn't really anticipate seeing him again. Kellen Moore, flag comes out as he tries to connect with Durham. Ross Cockrell on the coverage. He might have got the hands on
Right, the pass. Defense, number 29. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Yeah, Ross Cockrell got caught, and you knew it at the top of the route. They were very close. Oh yeah, see, you got a handful of jersey, and the officials are looking for that exact thing. They look for the jersey to stretch away from the body, and running right at the officials, he had it around the neckline of the jersey, and that's what the official call is a good call.
Well, 1st and 10 via the penalty, and the flags come out again. Ogletree makes the play for a gain of 4 yards.
This shouldn't be a penalty, I don't think. And they're going to call it. I thought they were inside the 5-yard.
Illegal contact, number 53 in the defense.
That was
5-yard
razor
penalty
thin.
and automatic first down.
And Nigel Bradham.
I was watching this, and I thought they were inside the 5. The line of scrimmage was the 40, and this isn't going to show us exactly the yard. And right there, he did it 1 yard too far down the field, and that's what the official called.
So first down again via penalty. That's 2 in a row for Detroit. In their own 45. And this one off to Riddick, and Riddick is stopped for a loss by Ty Powell.
And that's what the Bills have done so well in this preseason, is stop the run. Not only they stop the run, they get a lot of tackles for loss. And of course, there's our guy Landon Cone making penetration. They initially bounced the ball out. He didn't make the tackle, but the tackle was made because of his penetration.
5 penalties on the Bills thus far tonight for a total of 25 yards. That nice tackle for loss. They had 11 tackles for loss against Tampa Bay in the last preseason game. Brings up 2nd and 13, and this one is complete. There's a flag down on the play as Theo Riddick makes the catch. Cockrell with the tackle.
Landon Cone got into the backfield again.
No foul play.
How about
It'll be
that?
3rd down.
Bill Triplett. Excuse me, Jeff Triplett's been busy thus far, but I talked about those tackles for losses, Steve, and the Bills defense doing a great job of getting that penetration.
Yeah, there's a handful of them tonight. There's the first one early on in the game, and this right here is as LaShore tries to turn it upfield, and then this one just a moment ago is 3 guys jump the running back 5 yards deep. This brings up a 3rd and 7 after that run we just saw.
Lions 1 of 4 on 3rd down conversions, and this one shot incomplete over the middle as Kellen Moore had pressure on him, tried to get it to Ogletree, but unable to do so, and the Lions will punt this one away.
Ogletree fell down at the top of his route, was just trying to pick himself up as the ball whizzed past his head.
So Sam Martin on to punt it away. TJ Graham back at his 10-yard line. 9:07 here to go in the second. Lions up 3-0. Martin hits this one nicely and stops it inside the 5, and it'll be downed at the 2-yard line by the coverage team for the Lions. That's Nevin Lawson downing the punt. 50-yard kick, no return. We'll take a local timeout. Bills ball. When we come back, they trail 3-0 Lions, and it's time for me to tell you about Buffalo Bills Touch. It's your official tablet app for all things Buffalo Bills. Follow your team in a whole new way with a 2014 team guide. Download Buffalo Bills Touch free at the App Store for iPad or any Windows or Android tablet device today. Buffalo Bills Touch, a click away from the ultimate Buffalo Bills experience. Bills take it on their own 2-yard line, and there's movement, and the flag comes out. A lot of pointing at that offensive line. They'll back them up half the distance.
Number 68 of the offense. Half the distance to the goal. Still first down.
Cyril Richardson, 5th-round draft pick out of Baylor, who's playing extremely well. Doug Marrone really likes him, thinks he can start either right or left guard in his future here in the NFL. Palmer with a long count trying to get that 5 yards back. And he gets more as Dixon finds a hole and breaks it all the way out to the 16-yard line before he is brought down by Jerome Copeland, a 14-yard carry.
Yeah, watch. It's a great block by Urbic up inside right there. You see him turn his back to the running back, and just like a revolving door, let that running back run right around him as the blocker goes up the field away from the running back. Great job by the right guard of the Bills.
3 carries, 21 yards for Dixon. Palmer under pressure, shows a little athleticism, throws it down the field, and that one is incomplete.
Great play by Travis Lewis down the field for the Lions. He laid out and got a hand on that. It looked like it was gonna be completed.
Yeah, he had
to
Goodwin.
And watch as Lewis comes away and just lays out and just gets a piece of that. Good throw and good awareness by Palmer to just try and make a play. It's a nice job by a quarterback who probably doesn't know all the words to the things he's saying in the huddle. But making some plays anyway.
He'll hand it off on the draw to Dixon again, who makes his way up to the 20-yard line. Bring up a 3rd down and 6 now for the Bills.
And this Carson Palmer, when they spoke to him about what it meant to sign with the Bills, what his role was going to be. Yeah, he's under no illusions. He's here to help this team win by helping their quarterback, E.J. Manuel. And he uses a lot of words like, servant leadership. He's here to serve and do the best he can in every situation, whether it's backup or player. And that's the kind of attitude you want in a guy like Palmer.
The Lions are blitzing him nonstop since he's come in. And T.J. Graham, there is a flag down, but Graham wasn't on the same page as Jordan Palmer.
Holding number 43 of the defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
I can add.
And that is Nevin Lawson.
I can add on
with the hands.
Palmer or Dixon.
So the penalty gives the Bills a first down.
You can hear Mike Catalana down there wants to add.
He's working hard.
He's working hard. He's on the side.
Hardest working man in football. Mike Catalana. Palmer throws this one out to Graham, who can bring it in. Beat it up a little bit.
Yeah, it was hard work not to catch that pass by Graham. And you see, here's the running back. Now, these guys over here projected starters, but these four guys, I think you can count on being here. And of the two guys here, it's Frank Summers is the one with the experience and has gotten more playing time during the preseason. That doesn't say everything, but I think they may have a chance to keep 5 this year, but no question those top 4 that I circled first are probably going to be on this roster.
Palmer picked. Tried to shoot it outside for T.J. Graham, and that one's intercepted by Issa Abdul Kudus.
And that's a perfect example of just not knowing each other. Palmer's going to throw this out here. Graham's going to get to the top, put his foot in the ground, and then move to the outside, and the ball's back to the inside. Palmer was going to throw that football right at him. Graham was going to move to the sideline away from the defender. And you got to put that on Palmer for not understanding what Graham was doing, but also you can understand neither one of these guys have probably caught more than a half a dozen footballs or thrown. Palmer's probably not thrown more than a half a dozen footballs to Graham at all, and most of those were playing catch.
So it gives the Lions the ball. 1st and 10 at the Bills' 26. Bootleg. Moore complete down to the 10-yard line as he gets it to Corey Fuller, second-year man out of Virginia Tech, for a 15-yard gain.
Again, you see Cohen getting up the field, running that play down, and then they pull the bootleg. Nice delivery to Fuller. That's just a well-run play. Great misdirection by the Lions. Bills rally to put a stop to it, but not after a long gainer.
And Kenny Ladler made the tackle on the coverage for Buffalo. They mark it at the 9, 1st and goal. And that's a nice hard run up the middle by George Wynn for 4 yards before he is stopped. Sammy Miller making the tackle for the Bills.
And a turnover, putting the Bills in a deep hole all of a sudden. The defense comes out and faces a 1st and 10 on their own 25, 26-yard line, and all of a sudden, and the Lions do the right thing. Try and throw a long, deep ball right off the bat, and it works.
2nd and goal from the 6. Play action. And there was a flag in the end zone as Ross was the intended receiver from Kellen Moore.
Yeah, he was.
I'll give you 2 guesses on what this penalty is.
Yeah, you know what it is. It's going to Deion Broomfield on the coverage, I believe. Might be Sam Miller.
Pass interference. 47 defense.
Sam
That foul
Miller.
occurred in the end-yard line. First down.
Jeff Triplett's mic is going out off and on there, but it's nonetheless a penalty in the end zone. That'll put the ball 1st and goal at the 1. 7 penalties tonight for Buffalo, amounting to 31 yards for the Lions, but several of them gave the Lions first downs. Touchdown, Detroit. Jeremy Ross on the crossing route on play action from Kellen Moore.
And that's good play selection by the Lions. After you get a holding penalty, the defensive backs are going to be a little bit less aggressive when they grab onto people, and you got a guy that just coming right underneath everybody free because nobody feels like they can grab him without getting a penalty.
Nate Freeze on to kick the extra point. And that is good. And we'll take a local timeout as the Lions build the lead up to 10-0 over Detroit with 5:55 to go here in the first half. Jeremy Ross with a touchdown grab. 10-0 Lions over the Bills here. You see the scoring drive after the interception. Set it up by Abdul Kudus. 3 plays, 26 yards. A couple of penalties helped the Lions keep that drive alive. And Freeze has the ball teed up, ready to kick off. Marquise Goodwin back to receive. Last kick Freeze had only got to the 1-yard line. This one a yard deep. Comes Goodwin. Gets face masked. That'll be a penalty. Looks like he got hit out of bounds. To another flag comes out. An 18-yard return, but plenty of laundry on the field.
Personal foul, face mask, number 43 of the kicking team. 15 yards after the end of the run, first down.
Nevin Lawson, the guilty party. We'll take a network timeout right now as Jordan Palmer will come out and play a little more quarterback for the Bills. They trail 10-0 here in the second. Alongside Steve Tasker, Mike Catalano working the sidelines for us tonight. Lions up 10-0 over the Bills. 5:48 here to go in the first quarter. Jordan Palmer making his debut with the Bills. 1 of 5 for just 9 yards and an interception thus far.
He kind of looks like he's only been here 3 days, which is the truth.
I think I said first quarter. I meant second quarter. Flag comes out, and that one is underthrown. Intended for Dominique Jones.
75 of the offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Chris Hairston called for the holding penalty. Lining up right now at left tackle is Chris Hairston. At some point that he may be called on. They may be called in right here. It's Hairston. He's on the hard up, and he kind of chicken winged him more than held him. But yeah, that was the call. At some point, some of these offensive linemen for the Bills may be called on to move out and play tight end at some point tonight with all the tight ends the Bills have injured.
First and 20, Palmer under pressure again, and he is brought down and sacked as the Lions have their 4th sack on the night. That's Karan Reed, draft pick for the Lions.
And there's the tight ends. Injured, and injured, which leaves Chris Gregg and Dominique Jones is the only healthy tight end, so you can understand maybe an offensive lineman having to move out 3 feet and coming in and playing tight end in certain situations to give those guys a break.
Brings up a 2nd and 29. And Palmer completes this one down over the middle to his back. Bryce Brown. Brown gets it out to the 22-yard line. Bring up a 3rd down and long again for Buffalo. Call it 22.
And this is a great job by Palmer. Watch here as you see, just as he releases it, you can see the pressure getting to him. And that's what, the quarterback's going to have to do. He's going to have to stand there and trust that the guys ahead of him are going to pick those guys up who seem to be rushing in untouched and deliver the football and accept the blow. And Palmer did a nice job of that in that situation, as Doug Marone's going to have to use a timeout to keep from getting a 5-yard penalty.
Yeah, Goodwin hadn't made it back to the huddle and wasn't sure if he was supposed to or not, and ends up showing up late. And Doug Marone has to use that timeout.
He got caught running a deep route on the play before as a clearing route. He ended up all the way down at the far 30-yard line, and then didn't realize he had to get back because he was going to stay in the game. At this point, this is one of the things about these last preseason games, Ray, and you know it. If you get tired, there's nobody to come in for you. You got to do it. I mean, if you're playing in the second half or the second quarter of the last preseason game, nobody else is going to come in and give you a rest. You are expected to play the entire game because they're resting other guys. And that means you have to play, and you got to get back on those long routes.
I wore that hat a few times back in my day.
I mean, I did too. I've never been so tired as I was in the last preseason game of every year.
3rd and 22, complete underneath again to Brown, and he'll get up to the 31. And
Brown is hurt.
Yeah, he's holding on to that right hamstring. That's not what you want. You know, the #1 goal coming out of this game is to stay healthy.
He's going to catch this and turn it up and get sandwiched.
Reach back for that leg.
Didn't. Oh, it might have been landed.
Yeah, he got landed on pretty good.
On the shin right there at the end.
Well, hopefully that's all it is, just a bruise.
Well, you can ask my family. I tell them time and time again, the most painful thing that ever happened to me in my entire career, and I had a bunch of things happen to me, was a kick in the shin. I've never been so much pain. That's the only time I couldn't cope. I know my family saw it it would happen in a Monday night game, and my family was watching, and that's the only time that they were ever really, really worried about me, because they could tell it wasn't getting any better. And that I hope that's all it is, because if it is, it'll go away pretty quickly. But it's hard to see what could have happened to Brown in that play. I mean, because you always see a pretty good hit like that, but always you look for something to get bent the wrong way,
right.
And it didn't seem to happen on that. Rarely do you feel physical pain on just the collision of a hit.
I got kicked right on the knee one time, similar to what you're talking about, and I thought I was done.
Yeah.
I mean, you take some hits doing this deal.
Well, it brings violence to you, and I'm telling you, I feel for him. He looks like he's going to try and get up to his feet.
You look like you're still in decent shape, though.
It's not the years, it's the mileage, bro.
Yeah, I hear you.
I got a lot of hard miles. So do you. I got a lot of car wrecks on this chassis. You see him walking gingerly off. Bryce Brown, who has really impressed a lot of people in this camp. They were really looking for big things from these 4 running backs. Freddie Jackson, C.J. Spiller, of course. All Bills fans know those guys. But Bryce Brown and Anthony Dixon have really added depth, quality players to this roster. And to see him go down like that is just the exact last thing this team needs.
Great punt from Brian Moorman. Drives Broyles all the way back to his own 16-yard line, where he makes the fair catch. A 56-yard bomb from Moorman, no return. Stop by the new Bills store located on Abbott Road near Route 20 and check out the widest and most exclusive Bills gear on the market. The Bills store is open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. and on non-game Sundays from 12 noon to 5 p.m. The Bills store, your one-stop shop for all your Bills gear. The Lions will take it. They actually marked it at the 17. And that's where Kellen Moore will hand it off to Mikel LaShore, who works his way up to the 25-yard line. Rips off 7 yards on that first down carry.
Looks like Kenny Ladler comes up and makes a nice tackle in open space. But you see as the Lions come out and run that on first down, get a nice 8-yard gain. It's indicative of what happened to the Buffalo Bills last year. They'd stop the run, and then all of a sudden, one of their opponents would snap off a long run, and that was their Achilles heel for the entire season last year, and it really cost them big in the win-loss column.
Moore on play action. Nowhere to go with it. He'll be brought down by Corbin Bryant for a sack and a loss of 3 on the play.
It's a nice job there also by Deion Broomfield, who had the back in coverage and kind of snugged up as the quarterback got flushed out of the pocket. You'll see Bryant get him, and there's, Broomfield kind of herded him back toward Bryant to let the quarterback know he wasn't going to run anywhere, and Bryant got a chance to get the sack.
First sack of the night for the Bills defense. Forces Detroit into a 3rd and 5. 5-man rush. And that is complete. Timing route on the outside for a first down to Patrick Edwards.
It was just one of those frustrating things. I know for you guys who play defense, Ray, you did it for so many years. Just the receivers just run past the marker, turn around, the ball's in the air. It's particularly with a new point of emphasis, and we've been seeing all these flags. How are you going to defend that? I mean, unless you just get, you're just dumb luck. Yeah, I mean, you just have to guess.
You have to guess.
You have to guess.
Really all you can do.
And you don't win football games by guessing.
No, you don't. And that brings us down to the 2-minute warning, I guess. And we'll take a network timeout. Detroit leading Buffalo 10-0 here with 2 minutes to go in the first half. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. Lions with a 10-0 lead over the Bills. They had the ball 1st and 10 from their own 27-yard line. And Kellen Moore, who took over for Dan Orlovsky, playing a little quarterback for Detroit. He is 4 of 6 for 30 yards and the touchdown to Ross. And Moore lets this one go down the sidelines and just overthrows the intended receiver, Patrick Edwards. Kamal McElwain has good coverage on the play.
Yeah, McElwain does a really nice job staying with the receiver, not getting the penalty as he backpedals out. Then he gets past the 5. That might have been called. That might have been called illegal contact right there, because they were more than 10 yards down the field, and it was not.
Guys, it's just so habitual.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, if they're going to call it, but don't call it sometimes. I mean, players beg for consistency.
And I don't see anything wrong with what he did either. That's my point. Is Moore completes this one for
even
5 yards.
You're right. I mean, that's the way the game. That's the way the game's been played forever. But the problem is, if they're going to start calling it, there's no question that was past 5 yards, and he went out and chucked the guy, and it could have been called. Or the official's going to get tired of calling that? Is that what's going to happen?
I'm tired of it. 3rd and 5, Kellen Moore, and he tries to find, look like Broyles.
Yeah, Ross Cockrell on the coverage did a nice job. That would have taken a really, really nice throw to get in there. And he just couldn't do it. That was good coverage by the Bills. Good series.
And Cockrell, I tell you, if he had his eyes back around, he could have gone pick 6 on that. Graham is back to receive the punt from Sam Martin. High kick. Flag is out already as Graham reverses his way back and is knocked out of bounds. A 51-yard punt and a 5-yard return, and there still is a flag to be sorted out.
Earn the kick. Holding. 41. Turn team. 10-yard penalty kick. 10-yard penalty. First down.
All right, thank you, Mr. Triplett.
I'm watching down on the Bills sideline. Bryce Brown is up running around trying to see how he feels to get ready to go back in the game. I don't know that he'll go back in the game, but obviously it doesn't seem as catastrophic as it did the moment he went down and stayed down.
Coming up in our Northtown Automotive Group halftime show, we'll have Mike Catalana with Coach Marone. Also a feature with Mikkel Roby, wired for sound, and then Steve and I will bring you the highlights and stats from the first half of action. Coming up on the Northtown Automotive halftime report.
And Bryce Brown is back in the game.
That one's up for grabs, incomplete. It bounced off Chris Hogan, and nobody could come up with it. Fortunate for Buffalo there, as those tipped balls often end up being bad news.
These are the kind of plays you got. I mean, that went through his hands, banked off his face mask. You can't throw it better than that. Chris Hogan coming across the middle, who's had a pretty good camp, and they were looking for big things in him, particularly perhaps in the slot, and just let that right through. That was a good play that went from Knox just because of the drop.
3 drops on the night, make it 4 as Hogan has 2 in a row. That's 4 drop passes, and Jordan Palmer not getting a lot of help right now from his receiving corps, in particular Chris Hogan.
Yeah, that would have been a really nice catch, but it should have been a catch. got both hands on it and had it for just a split second and just didn't pull it in.
It brings up a 3rd and 10. Palmer gets sacked. That is the 4th sack.
That's how that's how you come out of a preseason disappointed. You got 2 drops that would have put you out at midfield and given you a whole new lease on life, and you end up on a 3rd and really, really long, and it ends up in a sack inside your own 5. I mean, that's the kind of thing that makes your fans kind of wonder if you're on the right track, and it's not indicative of how you're practicing or playing, but
their drops are killers.
Well, you got guys out there who drop passes, and those are the guys who are fighting for roster spots. And you got to think that if the number 1s were out there, those passes don't get dropped.
George Johnson with the sack. He's got 1.5 of the 4 sacks by the Lions thus far tonight.
Well, you talk about Chris Hogan and the wide receiver core and those guys trying to make the team. Let's take a look at the wide receivers. And of course, Sammy Watkins, Mike Williams, and Robert Woods. Those guys are pretty well entrenched. Then you go over to Marquise Goodwin, T.J. Graham, Hogan. Now Graham, as we've heard, has been on the trading block for a while. Marquise Goodwin has had a hard time staying available. He's been injured and on and off the field a whole lot. Chris Hogan didn't help his cause in this last series because the 2 drops. So that's going to be a real interesting pick. The last spots at the wide receiver position.
Mormon gets this one away and makes it unreturnable, bounces it.
That's not a bad punt at all. There as he gets that's a 46-yard punt with no return.
That's pretty good from your own end zone.
Yeah, with a short snap.
So 41 seconds to go here in the first half, and the Lions will take the ball at the Bills' 47 to try and add to this 10-0 lead. Detroit with 2 timeouts remaining. Kellen Moore back under center. Actually in the shotgun. Throws it outside, almost broken up. A nice defensive play by Deion Broomfield. Almost picked that off, just a little bit behind it.
He jumped the route, no question. He had a nice break on the football. And just right there, it's one of those things, that would have been a great pick, but that was a great job of not retreating and then breaking up underneath.
Great break.
Yeah, break right up underneath the tight end, Ebron. Almost picked that off.
2nd and 10, clock ticking. Moore down the middle, he completes this one. Finds Ebron at that point for 14 yards, and the Lions use their 2nd timeout with 27 seconds to go with the ball at the Bills' 35.
Yeah, Moore was going to try and maybe run a play really quickly. Then the bench decided they'd take a timeout, and Moore took it. But it was in him to try and put the pressure on this defense and go on quick snap.
Well, while we have a moment, let's send it down to the sidelines and Mike Catalana. Mike?
Guys, we talked a little bit about it last week going against that Tampa offense with the big wide receivers, and you see the same thing with Detroit. They can trot out some very big players, which is something the Bills are going to have to be ready for when they get against Chicago 1 week from Sunday. Like they needed another big guy. Ebron, the tight end, is another giant out there and just caught that last ball for a 1st down.
Thank you, Mike. 27 seconds left to go here in the first half. 1st and 10 Lions from the 33. Kellen Moore drops it down to the running back. That's George Wynn. Wynn makes one-man miss, and he'll get down to the 25. Picks up 9 before he is brought down by Kenny Ladler and company.
The Lions will take another timeout.
That is their final timeout.
Nice little just quick release. The running back runs across the formation and then comes back on his motion. It really makes it tough to find in all the traffic in there for the defenders. The Bills drop back into zone coverage. They keep their eyes on the quarterback to see where he's looking, and the defenders kind of run around. I mean, the receiving core just kind of runs around through those zones, and the defenders watch the quarterback, and they don't really keep track of one single guy. They kind of guard just one area of the field. That's why you get guys running through there that kind of get lost in traffic.
So the Lions don't have any timeouts remaining. They're going to have to take a shot in the end zone or find a way to stop the clock quickly after this play. False start, it looks like. I didn't see a call. That's the shot into the end zone. And that is a touchdown, Detroit. And Corey Fuller makes the grab. Wow. I thought I saw some movement prior to that play.
That was a false start by the left tackle and the wide receiver right here. Watch these guys move. You see?
That was close.
It was close. But it's a good throw by Moore right down the middle of the field. Right into
Corey Fuller.
Right into Fuller.
And Kellen Moore, 8 of 13, 81 yards and a pair of touchdowns as he battles Orlovsky for that number 2 job for the Lions. Nate Freeze comes and tacks on the extra point, and with 9 seconds to go here in the first, Detroit extends the lead to 17-0 over Buffalo. After a scoreless first quarter, Detroit has run up 17 consecutive points here in the second.
There's many places in this roster that we've talked about. I've watched them practice and watched these guys play. You know, so many areas of this roster that have been upgraded. It's really frustrating. I know Doug Marrone is frustrated at how this team has looked in some of these preseason games, because there's no question they have more talent, more depth everywhere on their roster. They're a bigger, stronger football team. He's a former offensive lineman. He knows what he's looking at when he sees the line play on both sides of the ball. He's very optimistic, particularly about how this defense is going to look in the regular season, but there's no question he's really disappointed in the way the offense has been unable to score points in this preseason.
Kickoff from Freeze. Bounces down at the 1, and it's picked up by Goodwin, and he just runs it out of bounds at the 5, and the Bills will take a knee, you would think, in that field position with 8 seconds to go here in the first half.
Yeah, I think Goodwin did exactly what the coaching staff was asking him to do. Danny Crossman, special teams coordinator down there, having a little bit of a conversation with him about what he was thinking.
Now, the yellow first down line for tonight's game is brought to you by Toyota. Toyota, let's go places. Jordan Palmer, 3 of 9 for 25 yards. We'll hand this one off. Nice run by Dixon. He gets it all the way out to the 20. Pickup of 14 as time runs out here in the first half. And the Bills trail Detroit 17-0. Our Northtown Automotive Group halftime show coming up, and it'll start out with Doug Marrone visiting with Mike Catalana down on the field. And we'll send it down there right now. Mike?
Thanks, Ray. Coach, I know you wanted to see EJ and Sammy in the first team offense get continuity. How disappointing is it to see him get knocked out and not get to see that?
Yeah, it's always disappointing when a guy can't come back in and play, and especially for Sammy. He really hasn't played since the first quarter of Pittsburgh and hasn't had a lot of snaps during this preseason.
What about the player Jordan Palmer? He just got in. What'd you see out of him in the limited time you got to see him in that half?
Well, sometimes, we put him in some tough situations where he was under duress, but at the same time, we're looking for somebody to come make plays there. Obviously, we're not making the plays we need.
You only have a half left in the preseason. What do you expect out of your team in the second half?
Well, we're going to come out here and just make plays, really. And score. That's the one thing that we haven't done a good job of, and that's what we need to keep improving.
All right, thanks very much.
Thank you, Mike.
All right, Coach Doug Marrone, not seeming pleased with what he saw in the first half. We'll see what we see in the second half.
All righty, thanks, Mike. 17-0, the Lions with the lead over the Bills here at halftime in Orchard Park, New York, Ralph Wilson Stadium. We'll be back with the Northtown Automotive Group halftime after this local timeout. 17-zip Lions over the Bills.
Second half here in Orchard Park, and Jordan Gay's going to kick off for the Bills to begin this half. He is officially listed as a punter, but they're looking for him to be a kickoff specialist. Spent some time with Carolina, played a few games with the Giants last year. He can punt, but they're looking for big kickoffs out of him. Last year, the Bills gave up more returns than any team in the league on kickoffs. They won him out of the end zone. By the way, he went to Center College in Kentucky. He's the 19th player to make it in the NFL from that school. The last one before him was in 1940.
So you're saying it's been a while, Mike?
Yeah.
That's not a big reunion when they show up, I would think. That's...
They wheel him in for it, Steve.
Yeah, I guess. This is... Got under this one. This is a high kick.
And only to the goal line where Edwards brings it out to the 26, and that's got to be a disappointment for Jordan Gay, not to mention Doug Marone. I mean, one reason he's here is to kick it out of the end zone.
And that ball, when he hit it, you could see that the arc of it was way up above our heads, high here in the stadium and from the press box. That was like a punt. That kick went so high. There's no question he's got the leg swing to get it through the end zone, but he hit it at the wrong angle off the tee, and it barely made it to the end zone.
So Kellen Moore takes over, returns at quarterback for the Lions here. 1st and 10, Detroit. Now hand it off to George Wynn, and Wynn runs into a pile of Buffalo defenders, including the linebackers Brown and Bradham. Give him a yard, bringing up 2nd down and 9.
Yeah, the Bills here, and both clubs really. The one thing you want to do is come out of this game completely healthy. And we said at the beginning how many prominent players on the Lions roster are being held out of this game. And of course, the Bills having Sammy Watkins go down with a re-aggravation of his rib injury, it highlights the fact. But this is a game that both these clubs would really like to have a running clock on.
Bootleg thrown out to Andrew Peacock, and Kellen Moore couldn't get enough on it. Incomplete. Brings up a 3rd down and 9. Cockrell on the coverage for the Bills.
Well, Ross Cockrell, you talk about guys who are trying to make this club. He's a 4th-round draft pick this year, 109th player picked overall. He was at Duke University for 5 years. And the thing about it is, and this is the kind of guys you look for, is Doug Marone and Doug Whaley. Cockrell was a guy who was a 2-year captain. So he's a guy who knows how to lead players and be an example. Just the kind of guy you want playing in your team.
Right, and with his size at 6 foot 190, you could maybe project him to maybe get a shot at safety sometime down the line, although he's certainly a corner right now.
Yeah, he's a corner, but and you're right. If you get guys who can do both, at least athletically, and then have the temperament, and a guy like Cockrell has displayed that. I mean, you don't get elected 2 years in a row or as an underclassman to be a captain on your college team unless you display some things that are pretty special. And those are the kind of guys that the Bills are trying to, evaluate as to how much of a difference they can make in this defense.
So the Bills defense forced a 3 and out from the Lions, who somebody was delinquent in terms of getting out there for the punt team. But they're ready to go now with Sam Martin back to hit it to T.J. Graham. High kick. Graham takes it at his 25 and scoots up the sidelines for a 7-yard return after a 51-yard punt. Bills will take the ball when we come back. We'll take this local timeout and get another look at Palmer. Buffalo down 17-0. Lions over the Bills. He'll here early in the 3rd, and Jordan Palmer, 6-year man out of UTEP. Been with Cincinnati, Jacksonville, and most recently with the Chicago Bears, the 30-year-old native of Westlake Village, California. Hasn't really played since 2010 in a regular season game, but he's known for tutoring young quarterbacks. And that might be a good role for him here with E.J. Manuel as the starter for the Bills. Dixon fights his way forward, getting 3, maybe 4 yards with the push.
This is a time when, Jordan Palmer had a chance to go in, gather himself. Now as you mentioned, he's a veteran player, got a lot more experience in the league, even though it's not in games, than E.J. Manuel. and has been around the block a lot of half times and knows exactly what he wants out of a coaching staff for second half adjustments, and should come out and look a little bit sharper.
And he was there. Nice little slant route, quick play action, hits T.J. Graham on a pop pass, if you will. And we'll pop it on down to the sidelines and Mike Catalana. Mike?
Hey, one guy who's not too pleased with Jordan Palmer being in Buffalo is Jay Cutler of Chicago. He was asked about it. He says, hey, we're playing them the first week. He says, I wouldn't be surprised if they already have him in Jim Schwartz's office telling him everything the Bears are going to do offensively in week number 1.
I think that's overrated, and Cutler, of course, will find something to complain about as Dixon takes it off to the right side.
It is always a concern when you lose a player late. But, you know, the backup quarterback on a team that he's only been with for one preseason probably is not going to have a feel for what the coaching staff plans to do against a team that they have yet to see or even get a look at the roster of. Even though you've looked at them for 4 preseason games, this being the 5th.
Blitz comes, Bills run it up the gut with Bryce Brown, and Brown will pick up 3, bring up a 3rd down and 4.
And even though you've seen the Buffalo Bills play 4 preseason games, I don't think there's any question. The Bears haven't even begun to formulate any kind of game plan for that week 1.
No, the play menu has been really limited. I mean, we've
Right.
sing it, Steve. They're not showing
What
a whole lot of stuff.
The only thing Palmer could tell the Bills about the Bears is who on their team's really good and how they maybe use them or what they do best.
Palmer lobs it out of bounds. Goodwin in the general vicinity.
Yeah, that play was messed up from the word go. The snap was early. And there you can see Palmer, he lost, he thought it was 2nd down. He threw it away, not remembering his 3rd down.
Or he thought someone was offsides, maybe. It looked like one of those.
Well, it was
some confusion,
yeah,
regardless.
The snap was not muffed, but it was early and nobody was ready for it. And so he threw it away to save the down, and yet it brings up 4th, so they're off the field anyway.
So Mormon will punt this one, looking for the corner. The old coffin corner, and it doesn't quite get out of bounds. It'll sail into the end zone for a touchback. The Lions with a 17-0 lead will get the football at the 20 after this network. 17-0 Detroit over Buffalo here in the 3rd quarter. 11:27 to go in the 3rd. As you see the Bills' 2nd unit on defense still out there on the field. Kellen Moore in at quarterback, has a pair of touchdown passes thus far tonight for Detroit. He'll hand this one off on a draw play to LaShore, and he'll take it out to the 28-yard line. Gain of 7, 8 yards on the play.
This is a nice job up front by the Lions as the run fits just mess up. Nigel Bradham steps inside the block of the guard, and the back just bounces it outside. Looked like they had too many guys on the inside run fit and left a gap outside Stephon Charles right there, number 96, and that led to the big gain.
2nd down and 2 for Detroit. Nice bit of inside running by LaShore. Gets out to the 35, a gain of 7 and a 1st down for the Lions.
Yeah, this is a counter play where you're going to see the running back come over and block, and then the back cuts right off of that cross block.
A little wham cutback.
Yeah, a little wham coming back. The tight end it was a tight end fullback to come over and trap Jaquez Smith. And Smith got cut to the ground, and the back went right up inside of him.
Good power play by the Lions offense. George Wynn, and he runs into Preston Brown, the rookie out of Louisville, 3rd-round draft pick for the Bills.
Yeah, Preston Brown, who's getting a lot of playing time, and the coach have really been impressed with him. They like his size. The 3rd-round draft pick, 73rd overall out of Louisville. Started 32 of 52 college games, had over 300 tackles in college. That's why he got picked up in the NFL in the mid-rounds.
We'll play action more. A penalty flag comes out as he connects with Ryan Broyles, and Broyles gets enough for the first down, but we'll see what the flag's all about. A gain of 9 on the play.
And this might be
Prior to the pass, number 29. That penalty is declined. Result of the play is a first down.
And Ross Cockrell with the holding.
And that's what happened when the quarterback, when they break contain and the play extends for long periods of time, you just feel the desperation by the cornerbacks and safeties covering man-to-man. They just, it gets so hard to cover those guys in all that open space when they've got no time limit. They expect the ball to be thrown, but as the play extends and extends, it just becomes more and more difficult and they start to grab.
This is Wynn. He hammers his way into Bills territory. 6 yards on the pickup. Broomfield on the tackle.
There's not much finesse here from the Lions. They're handing it off and going right up inside the tackles. Right or left. They're bringing in cross blocks, and their offensive linemen are firing off the football, and it's up to the Bills just to kind of hold their ground, fit in the run fits, and just try and stuff them, because there's no subtlety here by the Lions. Hand it off and run.
Same wham cutoff play we saw earlier, and another hole. This all the way down to the 41-yard line. 7 more yards for George Wynn on the running play. Steve, let's take a look at these safeties now for the Bills. After losing Jarris Byrd in the offseason, there's a hole to be filled.
Right, and there's no question they had 6 safeties on opening day last year. I don't know if they'll keep 6 this year. I think at least 4. These 2 obviously are going to make it. Jonathan Meeks, Duke Williams. Meeks has been in and out of the lineup with injuries. Kenny Ladler and Broomfield have seen extensive time in these last 2 preseason games. One of them still has an opportunity maybe to find a spot on this roster.
Blitz off the edge. Moore beats it and makes the completion to Broyles, who he gets hit pretty good by Ty Powell after a gain of 9.
Ty Powell hit Cockrell hard.
Yeah, he hit his own guy.
Yeah, he hit his friendly fire. You're going to see it right at the bottom right of your screen. Right here, as he comes in, boom, you see him hit each other, and you see him shake his head there. They may want to look at him more closely to make sure he hasn't sustained a concussion.
8th play of the drive for the Lions. 2nd and 1. They hand it off again to LaShore. LaShore gets to the edge, where he's cut down by McElwain. A flag comes out on the play. And I'll tell you what, Jaquez Smith was looking for a hold.
Holding, number 49 of the offense. 10-yard penalty, repeat, 2nd down.
Yeah, this is going to be on the tight end on the right side of the offensive line.
Michael Agnew.
Right here. Yes, Jaquez Smith tries to get away from it.
He said, where is it?
And he gets it.
So with the flag, it'll be 2nd down and 11 for the Lions. From the gun, Kellen Moore gets it out quick on a little comeback route. McElwain will jump on the receiver, Corey Fuller, after a gain of 6 on the play.
And Fuller went down, and if he keeps his feet, this is a big play.
Yeah, he had a chance to make a move.
Yeah, he did. He really had plenty of time.
Big cushion.
He had a huge cushion as he stuck his foot in the ground and came out of that break. Kellen Moore put that ball in the dirt. Otherwise, that would have been a much bigger play.
So it brings up 3rd and 6 for the Lions. Bills with a chance to stop this drive. They bring 4. Deep shot down the sidelines, overthrown, intended for Corey Fuller. Good coverage on the play by Sam Miller, nowhere to go with it, and the Lions have a decision to make. Do they punt? Or do they go for it here? It looks like they're going to go for it.
And I agree with it. And at this point of the preseason, you want to make it tough on yourselves. Jim Caldwell wants to see his guys in situational football. And 4th and 6 is one of those situations that you rarely have a free shot at it. And this, without these games counting and to evaluate players, it's just one more snap that you get a look at some guys and evaluate what they do when the chips are down.
Empty backfield for Detroit. 4th down and 6. Moore complete for the first down to Broyles on a slant route as Preston Brown is in on the tackle after a gain of 9.
That's a good route. This quick slant route gets a little separation, and Moore puts it right in his stomach. And once he does, the coverage is right there to make the tackle, but that's all it takes. Just on a 6-yard route, completion is a first down.
Sam Miller had the coverage on that play, along with the tackle.
Sam Miller has only been a Bill since August 10th.
So 1st and 10, and the Lions will hand it off to Wynn, and Landon Cohn makes himself known with another tackle for a loss.
More penetration from Landon Cohn. As some of those big guys you can accuse of kind of picking their spots where they'll catch that offensive lineman not quite ready. Right there at the top, you can see the guy with the red T-shirt hanging out of the bottom of his jersey. You can't miss him. But he's done it consistently. Plus, on that one, he ran around the wrong side of the block, and his speed was such that he could still get home.
He followed the puller and caught it from the backside. That takes some quicks and some great get-off, which is what Cohn had on that play. Loss of 2, 2nd and 12. Kellen Moore changes the play. And he'll just throw it away.
Kellen Moore made a nice decision there as he was under pressure, just getting rid of it on a 3rd down. The last thing you want to do here is take yourself out of field goal range with a bad decision or a bad throw or a sack.
Brian Johnson had that pressure. 13th play of the drive coming up for the Lions. Try to run a screen to LaShore, and that's just bottled up quickly. Preston Brown was all over it as the Bills brought the blitz, and Brown had the man-to-man coverage on LaShore and got there quickly.
He read it quickly and reacted just as decisively. Great job by Brown. You got to think maybe Brown is one of those guys who's done enough to hang around, and not only hang around, but also get a chance to play pretty consistent downs of football for this defense. And this defense is a hard defensive roster to break into because it is very talented and deep.
Nate Freese, who hit on a 53-yarder earlier, gets another shot at it and banks it off of the upright and through for his second 53-yard field goal of the game. And we will take a local timeout as the Lions extend the lead with 3:24 to go in the 3rd. 20-0. Lions over the Bills. After that impressive drive by Detroit, ate up 8 minutes and 3 seconds off the clock. You see that lasted 14 plays, just covered 45 yards, capped off by that man, Nate Freese, his 53-yard field goal, his second one of the evening, and Freese will kick it deep to T.J. Graham, who will take this one on at the 1-yard line. And is immediately bottled up at the 14. Special teams tackle by Shamari Benton. And we'll take a network timeout. Jordan Palmer and company. We'll see if we can get the Bills on the board. Ray Bentley alongside Steve Tasker. Mike Catalan on the sidelines with you tonight. 20-0. Lions over the Bills here late in the 3rd quarter. And Jordan Palmer stays in at quarterback. He's 4 of 11 for 41 yards on the night. He's had several passes dropped. And he's thrown 1 interception. Hands this one off to Bryce Brown. Brown kicks it outside And he'll get a couple, give him 3 before he's run out of bounds.
Yeah, these running backs are trying to get up inside for the Buffalo Bills and really having a hard time finding any room. You see Craig Urbick, Legursky, Hairston playing left tackle. Quanjo, the second-round pick, playing right tackle. You see there's Cyril Richardson down at guard, the 5th-round draft pick out of Baylor.
The Bills with just 46 rushing yards tonight. Here's a little dump down to Brown, who will get to within 2 yards of the first down, bringing up a 3rd down and 2 now for the Bills. And you mentioned the offensive line, Steve. Here's the battle as we see it.
And there's the projected starters. And Cyril Richardson, really, you put him as a starter because Chris Williams has not been healthy enough. If Williams was healthy, he'd be in there. And then you've got 4 out of the 5 starters would be left tackles. Legursky, Urbick would be the guys down inside. Quanjo is great practice squad material, a 2nd-round draft pick who really hasn't played as well as Chantrell Henderson.
Palmer on a timing right outside intended for T.J. Graham. A penalty flag is thrown on the play as Chris Greenwood had the coverage.
Yeah, Palmer didn't look real confident in that
Prior
throw.
to pass, holding number 33 of the defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
You know, I hate to say, Ray, but man, that's a good part of your throwing game right there. Is that deep holding route? You see there, as he comes out, and the guy, yeah, I mean, he holds him. When Graham tries to come out of the break, the guy's got his hands on him, keeping himself from overrunning the route, and they're calling it.
Yeah, and it's been a crutch for defensive backs for a long time, and they're trying to take that away as Palmer rolls to his right and intends the pass for Goodwin, but nowhere near Goodwin, and it's incomplete.
That's another example there of Palmer just throwing the football out there, really not being sure of exactly what the receiver is going to do.
How fair of an evaluation is this really for Jordan Palmer?
Well, it's not. You're not going to see him play his best. There's no way. I mean, the guy's been here 3 days now. He's a veteran, and he's got some physical ability. But I think there's a lot of other ways to evaluate him if you're going to. And you're going to look for positives, that is.
Right. And Dixon gets a yard. Looked like he was going to break away, but wasn't able to.
Well, let's face it. There are some quarterbacks we've seen in the preseason, particularly young guys, who can't even get the team in and out of the huddle on time. He's had no problems with that. He's had no issues with getting the plays called or getting the plays from the sideline. Gets the guys in and out of the huddle. You can tell he's having some extra conversations with guys in the huddle. So he's handled himself like a real pro, but it's obvious, you know, his lack of experience and lack of knowledge about not so much of what the X's and O's are, but what his teammates are doing around him. I mean, that's what's really holding him back as much as anything.
3rd down and 9. Palmer shoots this one out, and that is complete and good enough for the first down on the play as he hits Chris Gregg, the tight end.
And that was a good throw out to Gregg as Gregg breaks it to the right there at the top left of your screen. Great catch by Gregg, who pulls it in.
And Palmer put that in the spot where it had to be, where just his guy could get it. That was impressive.
And that's a positive. I mean, there's
First and 10. Looked like the Lions went early. No flag.
Yeah,
actually, there is a flag. They did throw it.
Offside, 96 defense. 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Andre Fluellen got the early start.
right here.
Saw that big swim move coming.
And you saw Landon Cone do that for the Buffalo Bills. He got a little bit too quick of a jump.
So that makes it first down and 5 now for Buffalo as we wind down this third quarter. Keep it on the ground to Bryce Brown. Brown gets around the edge. Flag is thrown again. And looks like Brown got enough for a first down.
Tripping. Number 71 to the offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
And Cyrus Quanjo called for the tripping penalty.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get a look at it. If it looked like he was trying to make the block. You'll see right here standing up without his hand on the ground. He's going to go to the other way. And
a little leg whip on it.
Yeah, leg whip. He lifted that back leg, and that's, I don't know if it made a difference in the play, but that's something the officials will look at, particularly away from the play, and it was pretty obvious.
It puts Buffalo at 1st and 15. Little underneath route caught by Hogan, but he is stopped immediately and thrown backwards. Looks like his forward progress will give him a pickup of 4 yards as we wind down and have hit the end of the third quarter. 1 quarter left in the Bills preseason here in 2014. They trail 20-0. We'll take this local timeout. 20-0 as we begin the 4th and final quarter of the preseason for your Buffalo Bills. They trail the Lions 20-0, facing a 2nd down, call it 11. Jordan Palmer still at quarterback. He took over in the 2nd quarter for E.J. Manuel and has a screen set up, but it was read by the Lions as Julian Stanford sniffed it out and took it away from Bryce Brown.
Yeah, and Palmer has no choice. He turns around and sees this play is broken off right at the point of attack and does the right thing.
Just grounds it.
I mean, so far, if you're talking about Palmer, Jordan Palmer, about how he's played and how he's handled himself, with the drops and the things that he's done with this offense.
He gets this one out to the fullback Rodriguez, who makes a nice spin move and gets it close to midfield. A gain of 9 on the play, and
I got to tell you, after 3 days, there's no question, Jordan Palmer is one of those guys that has been around the league long enough to understand how to pick up an offense at least fast enough to get it in and out of the huddle, manage it, and then read the field.
Palmer 7 of 15 on the night. And they'll go for it on this 4th down, Steve. You might as well. Not much happening on offense. Give Palmer a shot with the pressure on, and the receiver falls down. That's Naaman Roosevelt, and there is no flag. Yeah, there it is, finally.
From deep in center field.
It took the back judge a while to get up near the field of play and said, hey, if you guys aren't going to throw it, I will. And back judge is Steve Freeman.
Steve Freeman there talking to.
Prior to the pass, holding, number 45 in the defense. 10-yard correction, 5-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
The reason we mentioned the back judge, Steve Freeman, number 133, is that he used to play free safety for the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, that's perfect for him to be the back judge back
there.
He's
got some experience. He started officiating when he was just after he finished playing in the SEC and graduated to the NFL.
That one is intercepted as Mohamed Cisse, who had the penalty previously, has the interception, and away he goes. Cisse just hung with it. It looked like they were battling for the ball, and Cisse just hung on and got it.
I see you, Cisse. Come on, Mo.
So we'll take a network timeout as they respot the football here early in the 4th quarter. Detroit up 20-0, and they have the ball in good field position after that pick. 0-0 Lions over the Bills, and that last interception by Mohamed Cisse. And it looked to me like he should have been down here, Steve.
Well, Graham comes out, and Cisse beats him to the football, and because of that right there, he falls down. I don't know why he's not tackled right there, but no challenge, not reviewed.
And George Wynn takes it for 9 yards. And yeah, you saw Anthony Dixon just kind of run by him, assuming, like we all did, that the play was over.
Well, he fell down because he was knocked off balance because Graham was trying to wrench the football away from him, and he lost his balance because of that and fell down. That, to me, is a tackle. But the officials let it go and marked the ball at the 27-yard line, and immediately the the Lions pick up 9 yards.
So 2nd and 1 for Detroit. Kellen Moore hands it off to George Wynn again, and Wynn pushes his way for the first down.
There's no question Detroit at this point is going to hand the football off and push the Buffalo Bills off the ball and just grind this game down. That doesn't mean they're going to run exclusively, but you can bet on first and second down the Bills are going to get a belly full of Kellen Moore turning around and handing the football off.
George Wynn with 7 carries for 28 yards on the night for the Lions. 12 minutes, 30 seconds, and counting to go in the preseason here. And again, that handoff, this time it's Mikel LaShore, and LaShore runs into Powell along with Brian Johnson and is stuffed for another tackle for a loss for that Bills defense. Stephon Charles also involved in the play.
And another guy that's out there is Jimmy Gaines, who is a Buffalo native from Canisius High School here in Buffalo. 2010 graduate, a guy who, you're going to talk about athletic, a linebacker, a safety, a tight end, a running back, and a wide receiver in high school here at Canisius.
Did he sell popcorn at halftime?
He probably would have.
2nd and 12 after the loss. Moore dumps it out quick on that little hitch route we've seen quite a bit tonight to Peacock. He takes it down to the 10-yard line before Powell and company get him down 9 yards on the play. Here's a look at Jimmy Gaines back in his high school days.
And getting a chance to come back and play in Buffalo.
It's a big receiver for the back in the day.
No kidding. Gaines 6'3", 240 pounds right now, and there's something that'll grab you. University of Miami. Out of Gatsville. Signed with Buffalo, as you can see, May 13th.
3rd down and 4 for the Lions. Nowhere to go. Good coverage down the field. Finally Moore finds the guy, but it's broken up. Nice defensive play. Reaching out, knocking that away is Xavier Boyd, the rookie free agent out of Western Kentucky.
Great play by Boyd, staying with it. You'll watch as he extends here. Gets his hand in and knocks that away, and no question, that's a pass defense by Boyd. That's a nice play that on a play that was extended. Like we said earlier, it's really difficult for these defenders to stay in tight coverage with the new rules, and as that play gets extended further and further by a mobile quarterback.
28-yard field goal attempt by Freeze. He's 2 for 2 on the night, make it 3 for 3 as Detroit extends the lead to 23-0 with 10:43 to go. We'll take a local timeout. See if the Bills can get rid of that goose egg when we return. Over Buffalo, 10 minutes, 43 seconds left in the contest as Nate Freeze is set to kick it off. TJ Graham back in the end zone to return for Buffalo. Freeze 3 for 3 tonight on field goal attempts, 2 from 53 yards. That most recent one, a 28-yarder, capping off the drive after the interception. 2nd of the night for Jordan Palmer. Graham will take it at the 1 yard deep and take a knee. We'll take a timeout, a local break. When we come back, see if the Bills can get on the board. They trail 20-0. 23-0. Lions over the Bills. Buffalo takes the ball at their own 20-yard line. Jordan Palmer in at quarterback. Threw an interception on the last drive. Got him 8 for 18 tonight for 67 yards and a pair of interceptions, and he'll hand this one off. The inside zone running play by Anthony Dixon, and Dixon picks up 3.5. And we'll go down to the sidelines and Mike Catalana to talk about the offensive line. Michael?
Yeah, guys, look at that O-line right now. You've got some rookies like Richardson in there. You've got Legursky, the veteran. You've got Craig Urbick on the right side. But Cyrus Kwanjo is a guy really trying to get a lot of work. Even though he's a second-round pick, he came to football later in life, and he's still adjusting to some of the things involving playing the game, and he's really worked at it, and he got off to a rough start at camp, but all these snaps in the preseason are helping him. Quanjo is a big physical guy at 6'7". They have high hopes for him. Again, a slow start, but these snaps in the preseason should help him get going because they believe he can be a guy who can play in the league, and that right tackle spot seems to be the right spot for him.
Thank you, Mike. You see the numbers on Quanjo.
Well, 6'7", 322 is the first qualification you have to be.
He'd be the guy I'd send to get off the bus first. 3rd and 7, Palmer. Lets this one go down the field, and it's intercepted. Cutting in front of the receiver was Nate Ness. Third pick of the night, thrown by Jordan Palmer. And we will take a network timeout as the Lions lead 23-0 with 10:04 here. 23-0. That last interception thrown by Jordan Palmer under review as they review all turnovers and scoring plays in the NFL automatically. And there's Jeff Triplett, who's got the results.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands.
Well, they didn't confirm it, but they didn't have enough to overturn it. We'll see. This is a better look at it. Does his left foot get down in bounds? And this angle doesn't show it because
people are in the way. Yeah,
yeah.
You can't really see it, so I can see
Ollie's
why
in the way.
Right. And for the second time tonight, Kellen Moore will be sacked. And that was by Ike Igbinosun.
Igbinosun, who hasn't seen a lot of snaps, stays with it from the inside, his right defensive tackle spot.
First-year man out of USC is Igbinosun for the sack. For a loss of 5, brings up 2nd and 15 for the Lions from the Bills' 49-yard line. LaShore will get a couple up the middle where he's brought down. Ty Powell in there around his ankles.
You talk about this D-line who is so talented and deep up front. Of course, you see the 4 guys over there. In large part, this team set a sack record last year because of those 4 guys. These 3 guys have played extremely well in training camp, and so has Landon Cone. And the rest of those guys are trying to find a spot, but as you can say, 8 guys on the opening day roster. There's a lot of guys still on this team who think they might have a shot at it.
3rd and 13, and again, Moore under pressure. He's able to dump it outside to his tight end, Jordan Thompson. Thompson is wrapped up and tackled immediately by Jimmy Gaines.
Yeah, they're gonna go for it on this 4th and 6 or 4th and 5 probably as well, instead of the 56-yard field goal, actually a 58-yard field goal it would be. And rather than try and punt it, I agree with this completely. Even in the regular season, this is a spot in the field that's kind of iffy, and I hate punting it down for a 15 or what could be just a short gain. Go ahead and go for it.
Lions 1 for 1 on 4th down conversions tonight. And this one incomplete, intended for Corey Fuller. And good coverage on the play by the Bills' Sammy Miller. We'll take a local timeout with 7:51 to go here in the ball game. Detroit 23, Buffalo nothing. 23-0 Detroit over the Buffalo Bills. And that yellow first down line you've been seeing for tonight's game is brought to you by Toyota. Toyota, let's go places. Die-hard fans sticking around for the end, hoping to see the Bills get some points on the board. As Jordan Palmer hands this one off to Bryce Brown. Brown will pick up a couple of yards. Well, he is tackled.
Now Palmer going without a huddle.
Getting a lot of work, and that's important and vital. Just a little hitch route. He connects to Dominique Jones, his tight end, for a pickup of 5.
Palmer has gotten a ton of snaps tonight, probably as many as any quarterback for the Bills in any preseason game this season. And he's been a Bill for about 72 hours.
Eight of 20. Actually updating that, he's 9 of 21 for 72 yards. Takes a shot down the field, and Roosevelt had a chance. Couldn't bring it in.
Now they're going to let the new guy punt it away, Jordan Gay.
Gay comes in to try and win the job as a kickoff specialist, also a punter.
He is a punter, but he's brought in because they want him to kick the ball out of the end zone on kickoffs. He did not get that done in the one kickoff that he had tonight.
Booms the punt high, and Broyles makes the fair catch right at the 20-yard line. Buffalo Bills Touch is your official tablet app for all things Buffalo Bills. Follow your team in a whole new way with the 2014 Team Guide. Download Buffalo Bills Touch free at the App Store for iPad or any Windows or Android tablet device today. Buffalo Bills Touch, a click away from the ultimate Buffalo Bills experience. .6:41 to go here in the fourth. Detroit 23-0 over the Bills. Kellen Moore hands this one off to George Wynn. Wynn off the left side, and he runs in to some resistance from the Bills defense led by Landon Cone. And Landon Cone continues to make plays.
He has been a bright spot just about in every game the Bills have had this preseason. And once again, the Detroit Lions just handing it off and just daring the Buffalo Bills to stop them in the run game on first and second down. Certainly on first down, the Lions have turned into a run first almost exclusively in this second half.
Landon Cone going to be our Geico Spotlight Player of the Night tonight, and he's made a few plays again. We've seen him really show up in every single preseason game thus far this year, Steve.
Yeah, and there's another handoff up inside. You see Landon Cone as he comes off the ball now. Both the guard and the tackle are starting to pinch down on him to make sure he doesn't split the gap.
And here it is. Our Geico Spotlight is Landon Cone.
We've featured him a lot in these little vignettes during the preseason. You see there on the spin move, he runs right by Rodney Austin, the right guard, and then this one splits the guard center gap or the guard tackle gap. And then again, moving down the line, holding his ground while moving laterally, which is a great trait in a defensive tackle. If you can do that, you can play.
Cone, a 5-year man out of Ohio University. This play's blown dead, and the flag comes out. And back Detroit up 5 more. Make it 3rd down and 13 for the Lions.
Jacquez Smith jumped across the line hard, and one of the offensive linemen reacted to him. The problem is the defender can do that.
We have more on Landon Cone. Let's go down to the sidelines and Mike Catalana.
Yeah, we talked about his unique things that he did to keep himself in shape. He did a lot of yoga and the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He wanted to know if either of you guys have ever tried that.
No. Yoga maybe, but not the Jiu-Jitsu. But I'm willing to learn. Hook up from Kellen Moore to Ryan Broyles. Enough for the first down, a gain of 13 on the play. Kellen Moore continues to run this Lions offense masterfully.
As these players in this preseason wind down and under 4.5 minutes to go in this preseason, some of these guys are playing really for their professional life. I mean, they want to make these teams in the worst way, and this is the only way they're going to do it. And it's sometimes for fans who are connoisseurs of the NFL, it's really not worth the time to watch this stuff. But for these players and these coaches, these snaps late in this preseason are absolutely as important as another play by Landon Cohn.
He is playing hard to the finish.
He really is. And that's right. Every snap is just as important. It doesn't matter if it's the fourth quarter of your last preseason game or the first snap
Great get off.
of the preseason.
Splits the double team and makes the tackle for a loss. That's good football.
I mean, you can't say enough about what kind of camp this guy's had. And I will, you know, I mean, you and I both, we don't see the same things the coaches do. We don't evaluate these players the same way. We don't study them and know their assignments in relation to what they do and the plays they make. So the coaches may see it differently, but I would be shocked if Landon Cohn's not on his team.
You and I both. Doug Marrone constantly talks about we need to make plays. Landon Cohn has done nothing if not make plays. Makes another one here. Until the shore, nowhere to go.
Landon Cohn's the guy also that in the Pittsburgh game scooped up a loose ball and rumbled all the way down inside the 20-yard line.
Almost lost his draws on that one.
And he continues to play hard late in this preseason game. I mean, this is a guy, too, that, I mean, let's not forget, he's been with Detroit already, Jacksonville, Seattle, New England, Dallas, and Chicago. He was a 7th-round draft pick by these Detroit Lions back in 2008.
People have seen enough of him for him to get opportunities, but he is, when the flag comes out, he's definitely making a splash here with the Bills. That one's complete. Down the field to Patrick Edwards, and there's another flag at the end, probably a horse collar. We'll see what the first one was.
Well, the Bills were offside to begin with.
.30-yard gain on the play. We'll see if it stands.
It was a nice corner route.
2 fouls on the play. Offside, number 51 to the defense. That penalty's declined. Personal foul. 41 to the defense. 15 yards after the end of the play. First down.
McElwain hit for that penalty.
Yep. And that's the definition of a horse collar. Right inside the collar of the shoulder pads, using it as a handle. Turns a 33-yard play into a 48-yard play.
Two minutes, 20 seconds left in the ball game. Detroit up 23-0, and have it 1st and 10 at the Bills' 25. Moore hands this one off to George Wynn, and Wynn picks up a couple. 10 penalties on the night for the Bills. 68 yards.
That'll bring the 2-minute warning here.
And we'll take a network timeout. 2 minutes left in Doug Marrone's preseason here in his second year. 23-0 Detroit over Buffalo. Alongside Steve Tasker, Mike Catalan on the sidelines. 2 minutes left in this ball game. It's been all Detroit. 23-0 over the Bills. The Lions facing a 2nd down and 8 now from the Buffalo 23, and they're just going to take a knee. Each team with 3 timeouts remaining, and barring any use of those, this thing can be history.
Well, and this is what Doug Marrone and the Buffalo Bills are looking at the first half of the season. They go to Chicago, then a couple of home games. I think it's 2 and 2 and 2 all the way throughout. 2 home, 2 away after that first game in Chicago. Home opener September 14th here against Miami. And of course, they play the AFC South. And they're out of division opponents this year, and the San Diego Chargers in the AFC West.
Third and 10. The Lions elect to just take the knee again.
In the second half of the season, after the bye week, they go back out to the AFC West and come back and play. They get the Cleveland Browns here in Buffalo, and then they finish up also that AFC West swing. They play the Denver Broncos and the Raiders as well, so they play all 4 of those teams in the West.
And on the road, both of those games finish up in New England. and hopefully a meaningful game.
A lot of hopes and a lot of pressure on that guy right there, E.J. Manuel. This is a team that is all in with number 3 for the Buffalo Bills. They want him to be everything they thought he could be when they drafted him last year. And he will take the reins of this team full time.
And the best news is that he made it through it healthy. Steve, he got himself a lot of work in this preseason. We've seen a few instances of him flashing, and those last 2 drives against Tampa Bay were outstanding.
I think one of the things about this team that the club is frustrated about is the fact they didn't have the 11 starters they anticipate offensively to start the game or the season. They never had them in any single game, right down to that first game in the Hall of Fame game. Their offensive line wasn't exactly what they wanted in that game. And of course, the receivers have been in and out of the lineup with Sammy Watkins not seeing as much action in the last 3 weeks. So that's been the frustrating part of it for Buffalo. They don't know how good or bad they can be. They know they've been disappointed in the way they've looked, but they really feel like they've been hamstrung by the incompletion of their roster and their number 1s being able to play.
All righty, thank you, Steve. It's been a joy working with you again this preseason.
Enjoyed it, Ray.
And the man behind you says it's okay. We'll do it again next year. We'll take a break right now, though, and come back and wrap this up. A network timeout. Your final score in the final preseason game: Detroit 23, the Bills nada.